Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Have you bought a card? Have you bought a present? I haven't, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm Katie Scott from Kiss and Tell Scrapbooking. It is a scrapbooking blog, and about 2 years ago I made a post on my blog about how I am too cheap to spend $4.25 on a Valentine's Day card. Sometimes I do, although, nope, I got this from my husband saves them. This one is not for me. It's from his mom and dad. Here's another one from my husband's stash. This one is actually for me, so that's pretty rare. What I'd like to do instead on Valentine's Day is to either make a scrapbook or a mini book or even just a page. And so I wanted to show you some of my Valentine's themed albums and also scrapbook pages that aren't specifically about Valentine's Day, but for me, in my mind and in my heart, they take the place of a Valentine's Day card. Can you see the layouts? Cameraman? Okay. So this is a layout that I made about my daughter, and I really look at scrapbook pages almost like love letters to my children, or to, you know, it's just a place where you can say, hey, I love you. And so it's almost, for me, it's like insurance. And so, you know, if they ever wonder, you know, 20 years from now or 5 years from now or whenever, they can look and say, look, you know, I know that my mom loves me. And so I oftentimes will just write a little note to them about, hey, I love you. And I think that's good to say. I think it's good to put in writing. Especially because, you know, times change. And so the thing I like about a scrapbook page over a Valentine's Day card is somebody else wrote this, but I wrote this. And so, you know, looking at it now or looking at it in the future, the person reading it knows what my sentiment was and knows what my heart was feeling. So there's one. Here's another one. And they don't have to be fancy, but I usually will, like I did this in March of 2009. And so usually it doesn't have to be on Valentine's Day, but sometime around Valentine's Day, I have a mental note, you know, make some love pages. I made a page about my son's favorite stuffed animal. And so he no longer carries that around with him all the time. And that's just a couple years old. So it's nice to look at that. You know, even boys can have sappy pages. And I put a little heart, you know, so it's not overflowing with pink and hearts, but instead of one of the circles, I just added a little heart there and wrote a love note to him. If you are like me and maybe have let your date nights slide with your husband, if you actually get to go on a date night, use the self-timer on your camera, take some photos, and then put it down. So you can both remember that, you know, you still like each other, you still love each other, and sometimes when you make time, you go on a date. We used to have a date night every Saturday night, and somehow that has fallen off the radar. I'm going to show you this one next time. A couple more things. An easy way to put together a love book is to use a service like Shutterfly, or really even Walgreens, or any photo book service. And this is, can you see this? This is one that I did about our wedding, but I didn't do it right after the wedding. We got married, 1999. But this book was made about the wedding, but then goes through and kind of starts with our story. Here we got married, and then kind of progresses into, here's the kids, here's, you know, how love relates to our family. And this was a very easy book to put together. And yeah, see, at the end, it says, Happy Valentine's Day, I love you. And so I did one page of like a letter, and I didn't date that, which is a little, I usually date them. But I did a letter in the beginning, and then the rest of the book is really just pictures with the Valentine's Day theme. So that's a really easy way to do something for Valentine's Day. And then what I like to do is label the albums. I just use a Brother P Touch to say, This is our love album. Another idea is to just use a photo album scrapbook. We started this in 2006, and it's called Just Us Love Notes. And the theory was that we would write notes to each other. I think Rebecca Sowers was the one who came up with this idea. We did it for about a week. I never, we never followed up, but the nice thing about this is I can, I can pick this back up at some point, or with the flexibility of a photo album scrapbook, if you didn't end up finishing it, you can still find photos that will display the love. And so here's one more, just a mini book. And so usually around the time of Valentine's Day, I will either make a page or a mini book, and that's what I do instead of cards. So it's probably not because I'm too cheap, because this probably costs more than the card. But I think it will last longer, and I think the sentiment is better in making it, and in the person receiving it, and also in for the now and for the later. So I think that's enough. That is all. I'm trying to keep these short. So I am Katie Scott with Kiss and Tell Scrapbooking. If you want to learn more about how to use scrapbooking to improve your relationships, please visit my blog, and I will have a link up to several posts on that topic. Thank you.